starts getting Max, who is a godly Fortnite player for the Team Saw, and he was doing a TV interview. Because Fortnite was growing up, and this video is a few years old now, a lot of TV stations were interviewing various people that were streaming, playing, making Fortnite videos, and this guy, because he was so cracked, was picked out to go on live TV. The cool thing is, whilst in the room and actually the TV cameras on him, he went on to go ahead and get a huge victory royale, 17 eliminations. I mean, just everybody screaming as he won alone is something this guy will never forget. And it was broadcasted live on TV. What an epic moment. Couldn't have gone any better. Don't quite think the cameraman really understood what on earth just happened, but everyone watching knows how impressive that is. The pressure was on. And number 8, one of my favourites has to be Avery and his Wii remote setup. The reason this is my favourite, for those of you guys that haven't heard, I like to say that I started my YouTube channel on the Wii, which is true. I would play Call of Duty and Medal of Honor and point my controller at the Wii using the remote to basically take people down. It is not easy. The Wii itself as a console was pretty bad in terms of graphics, but Avery's managed to take PC, so he's got a really nice running Fortnite, but with really hard controls. Obviously, the only way to play with Wii remotes and nunchucks is to actually stand up and play, and he manages to crank the odd 90 or 2, definitely not skills, but he gets to grips with it fairly quickly, and I am rooting for this guy to get a Vic Royale. Can't lie, at a point where he had literally 0 eliminations, somehow he managed to make it to the top 2, and I was skeptical as to what was going to happen. The aiming looks near impossible, but despite that, and despite the fact going down to 19, Avery manages to pop a pump headshot for 130, and the only kill he gets with the Wii remotes online gets him a Vic Royale. Utterly insane. I would put this at number 1, but there's even more crazy ones. Number 7. Can you imagine playing a controller with a load of screws on it? Well, Morgs, back in the day when he was jumping on the Fortnite hype train, actually did that. Morgs, I know, is a controversial character, but he literally was playing and potentially putting his own fingers in the firing line here as he was using an Xbox controller with probably the most painful setup in the world. Every time this guy wanted to reload or do anything, he was literally impaling his own fingers. I would not recommend it, and although he did do a few clips with it, it didn't seem to go very well. Wait, what the heck? He's even got a pin on the end of that controller. Do not do this at home, ladies and gentlemen. After a few clips, he seems to cut away without being able to see his controller, so I doubt whether or not the Vic Royale was real, but either way, probably one of the most painful setups ever. The rest of them aren't quite as painful, thankfully. Number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 like equals 1 prayer for FaZe Jarvis. Rip FaZe Jarvis. But him and his brother Kay, also from England, did some crazy Vic Royales back in the day, and this one saw them going into a public library surrounded with probably just emailing their grandchildren or something, and they plugged their Xbox into a screen at the end. Kay actually vlogged it. They must have had no idea what was going on, these poor people around him. And obviously Jarvis, being the absolute beast that he is, managed to not go on and get a Vic Royale within the library, but this guy got way above double digits. Honestly, if FaZe Jarvis could still play Fortnite right now, without bigging him up too much, I think he'd be one of the best controller players in the world to this day still. They did ultimately get kicked out of the library for what they did, but hey, they came, they saw, and they got that Vic Royale. Number 5. What kind of input do you use to play Fortnite? Mobile, keyboard, and mouse controller? Well, what if I told you you could only use the mouse? That's right, not the keyboard, just the mouse. Avery's back at it again because this guy just likes to try really hard challenges apparently, and has taken a mouse with basically a load of buttons on the side. He remapped all of those tiny buttons to in-game actual inputs and manages to become more cracked than most players who use a normal setup, and he was only using his mouse. Avery, honestly, you are really good at Fortnite, and I'm seriously impressed, but I don't know how you managed to teach yourself to do this or even move properly whilst doing this. It's insane. He doesn't just camp and go for no kills. This guy's going around absolutely taking people down, healing, and doing everything as normal. If you didn't know that there was a hand cam pointing towards only his mouse, you probably wouldn't have any idea that he wasn't using a keyboard, honestly. After a few failed attempts and even coming second,